What's up, everyone? Matt back for another real review. No Jeff tonight, unfortunately. He was under the weather, so he didn't go to his screening. But I am here to talk to you about one of what was one of my most anticipated films of the year because it was a sequel to a pleasant surprise, and that is none other than Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I'll be honest, you saw when the first trailer came out, I did a reaction for that. I had fun with it. I thought this was going to be a really fun, interesting movie, and a continuation in the Ghostbusters that felt like this passing of the torch and just living in this New York world and bringing the Ghostbusters back and having fun, right? Um, Unfortunately, I didn't really get that. So Ghostbusters Frozen Empire is kind of a hodgepodge, a mixed bag, and that kind of is disappointing because at the end of the day, I really wanted to love this film. I loved that first trailer. I didn't watch the second trailer, but I've noticed there's not a lot of marketing heading into this film outside of Ghost Trap popcorn buckets that you can get at Regal and AMC. That's how they're trying to build the hype for this film. And I I loved the characters and how we were introducing them in their parts in Afterlife. It felt natural, it felt right, and it felt like a love letter to the original films. This film loses that magic, even though it does bring back the original crew and the new crew. And it's just, it's strange because you feel like this should work more, but ultimately the heart isn't there, the mystery isn't there, and honestly, the fun isn't there. And that kind of sucks, especially when you come to a Ghostbusters movie. They open up really strong. Had a ton of fun with that opening scene with Paul Rudd, Carrie Coon, uh, McKenna Grace, and Finn Wolfhard. Had a ton of fun with that opening scene going after the Ghost Dragon, and then I kind of fell off after that. And I was, eh, I was entertained, but it was something that could easily my interest waned, and that sucks because when you have such stellar talents, because let that be put straightforward, these are all stellar talents. You expect more. There's a lot of nods to the Ghostbusters animated show, including a commercial for the toys that were sold back then, which I thought that was really cool, especially considering we don't spend a lot of time acknowledging the Ghostbusters television show. But it was just there's nods and little moments where you laugh and have fun, and it's like, okay, yes, this is what I want. But overall, it doesn't work. And I don't know if that's the direction of Gil Keenan, who was the co-screenwriter on this and Afterlife, or if it was just the script in itself. Because I think by having Jason Reitman direct Afterlife, that is a man who grew up around this franchise. And while he did co-write this film, it felt like this was missing his guiding hand, the hand that knows this universe inside and out because of what it meant to him, what it meant to his father. And that, I think, might be why this film at times feels lifeless. The effects are great. When they're busting ghosts, it's great. But outside of that first initial scene, we don't really see them busting ghosts all that much. You get to see them drive off and leave, but this, while the first film was very centrally Phoebe's story, McKenna Grace, this one is too, but it just doesn't have the same impact, the same weight, because they're both stories about this young woman trying to find herself. And she finds herself in that first movie. And in this, it's kind of taken away from her, and then she's finding herself again. It's like, no, she has found herself. We know who she is. She knows who she is. Now, there's another piece of herself that she's finding, but I'm not going to talk about that. Watch the film. But it was just really concerning how they tried to pull the "what am I if I'm not a Ghostbuster" storyline but it's on a 15-year-old girl. And keep in mind, that's kind of why that falls apart, because ultimately she's a 15-year-old girl who has her entire life ahead of her. Why are we telling this, what am I if I'm not a Ghostbuster line? Or this Ghostbuster, what am I if I'm not a Ghostbuster story? And that's kind of why this doesn't really hit. It does the purpose of entertaining. It does the purpose of getting your mind out of whatever issues you may be having by going to the theater. It's gonna be fun for some people, a bore for others, and I'm honestly right in the middle of that. So if I'm being honest, I'm giving it a 2.5 out of 5. Like I said, fun effects, fun moments. I enjoyed seeing the OG cast with the new cast, but there was just so much more that I could have had and done and enjoyed with this. And I kind of just felt empty. It's just like, okay, it exists. It was a nice quick hour and 56-minute ride, but it's not something I really want to revisit again. It's very much in the line of Ghostbusters 2, which I enjoy Ghostbusters 2, but it's not what I choose to revisit in the Ghostbusters series all that often. I go Ghostbusters, Afterlife, Ghostbusters 2, and probably the 2016 Ghostbusters, and then this might be the least fun Ghostbusters movie. So, yeah, 2.5 out of 5. That's my thoughts on it, but ultimately it's about what you think. So be sure to let me know in the comments what you thought of Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Like, comment, subscribe to everything we're doing over here at Watt Roll Entertainment. Be sure to check out Watt Gaming. That's our sister channel run by Taylor Cleek, the Rager. And just be sure to check everything we do out there out. That's where our Twitch gaming streams go. That's twitch.tv/WattRealEnt, as it's spelled in the corner right there. And yeah, so signing off, folks. I'm Matt. This was another Real Review, and we'll see you next time.